We begin today the Gemara on Daf Kuf Yudalet Amud Beis, 6 lines up from the bottom of the Amud. Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Mishom Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yechanan said, quoting Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon. Interesting thing, the Rashbam here, that it says that when it says Mishom, and it doesn't say like it does usually Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Amar Rabbi Yehuda, it's because Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon was not his teacher. He just was saying over quoting him. Mm-hmm. It's l'chayra. This means any time in Shas when it says such an expression of mishom, it means that it wasn't your teacher. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he said from him the following halacha: Dvar Torah, that we could learn out from a pasuk in Torah. Ha'av yerishes benoi, a father will inherit his son if the son dies without having any children, and similar ve'isha yerishes bena, and a woman will also yashin her son if he has no children. Shenemar, and he learned it out from the following pasuk. It says matos. This is in the pasuk where it speaks about a woman that inherits from her tribe, and then the pasuk there says she shouldn't marry anyone from a different tribe, not to transfer the Yerusha to a different tribe. But it says matos. It says matos in a plural term, and the Gemara already brought before that it refers to the fact that this woman could inherit from her father or from her mother. So because it says both together matos, so makish mata ha'em lamata ha'av. We compare the mother and the father, the two shvatim that she could be inheriting him from the father or the mother. We compare the two, and we say as follows: Ma mata av eina yerishes benoi, just like it is with the father, so he yarshins his son. Af mata ha'em, so too with the mother, isha yerishes benoi. The mother will yarshin her son. That's the halacha that Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon said, learning out from the hekish of the word matos in the pasuk. So Eis Rabbi Yechanan Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yechanan asked Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon on this halacha that he said. The Mishnah clearly says not so. The Mishnah in the beginning of the Perek here, as was quoted before, it says Ha'isha as bena and Ha'isha as baila. When it comes to a wife, or first a mother, that is, a mother and her son, or a wife and the husband, Va'achei ha'em, and the brothers of this woman that her children yashin from the mother. So all these three are cases of manchilin v'lei nechlin. They will be manchel, they will bequeath, but they will not inherit. So one of the cases that it clearly says here in the Mishnah is the first one, ha'isha es bena, meaning that a mother and her children, so she will be manchel, her children will yashin from her, but she's not neichel, she will not yashin from her children. So how could Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yehuda say, or Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon that is say, that we have a hekish that teaches us that just like a father could yashin a son, so to a mother could yashin a son. Amalei, so Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Shimon answered Rabbi Yechanan, Mishnah Seinu, the halacha that it says in our Mishnah, Eini Yedeya Mi Shona. I don't know who's the Tana, who taught this Mishnah. Because we have here a hekish, and therefore we follow the hekish, so the Mishnah that's not following this hekish, I don't know who taught this. Okay, so the Gemara asks on this, why wouldn't Rabbi Yechanan answer him and say, Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev? That our Mishnah is Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev. Now, what did Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev say? We saw before earlier in the Gemara on Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, or where was it? Somewhere before, Kuf Yud Aleph. It says the Loi Dorish Matis. Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev does not darshan this hekish of the word matis. Regarding what did Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev say this? In a case of when you have a mother that died. And the question is, do you say that just like by a father, the sons come before the daughters? That if only the sons yashin and not the daughter? Do we say the same by a mother? That if a mother dies, that only the sons yashin and not the daughter? That's the opinion of the Tanakama that the Gemara brought before. But Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev says that no, we don't compare them. If it's a father that dies, then the son yashins, not the daughters. But if it's a mother that dies, then the sons and the daughters are equal. The yashin the same. So what we see here is that Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev cannot be darshaning this hekish of matais. If we darshan the hekish of matais, then we would compare the inheritance of the father to the inheritance of the mother. Just like by the father, the son yashins before the daughter, the same should be by the inheritance of the mother. But Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev doesn't hold to that. Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev says by the father, the son yashins first and not the daughter. But by the mother, the sons and the daughters yashin together. So we clearly see that Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev does not darshan matais. Therefore, we could say that the Tana of our Mishnah here as well, that does not darshan this hekish of matais regarding the mother inheriting a son, like a father that inherits a son. Our Mishnah is Rab Zcharia ben Akatzev. Says the Gemara, no, but we can't say this. We can't say that our Mishnah follows the opinion of Rab Chaim ben Akatzev that does not darshan this hekish of matis. Why? Because the Ktani uvnei achos. In one of the cases in our Mishnah where there's a Yerusha, the Mishnah said that bnei achos, nieces, or actually first nephews. When it comes to nephews, these are the sons that their mother yarshin from her brother. So now the mother passed away, and now her children, her sons, will yarshin that Yerusha that came from her brother. That was one of the cases of Yerusha that it says in our Mishnah. Now the Mishnah specifically says bnei achos, that this is the nephews. The nephews yarshin from their uncle. V'tana, and in a brayso we learned explaining our Mishnah, bnei achos v'le bnei achos, that the nephews will yarshin and not nieces. Nieces will not yarshin through their mother from their uncle. And we explained this already before. Lamai Hilchasa, the Gemara before said, what's the halacha that the Brisa was saying that nieces don't yarshin, because really nieces could yarshin. If there's no nephews, then the nieces yarshin. So Rav Sheshes explained, Lakadim, that what it's coming to say is that the nephews yarshin before nieces. If there's nephews, then the nieces don't yarshin. If there's no nephews, then the nieces yarshin. So what do I see right over here? Rab Chaim ben Akatzev, if you're going to say that our Mishnah follows the opinion of Rab Chaim ben Akatzev, so Ha'ama, didn't Rab Chaim ben Akatzev say, Echad ben, ve'echad bas, shovin b'nichseyaim. When it comes to yarshining from a mother, the sons and the daughters are the same. So if that's true, then that should apply over here also to the nephews and nieces. How are these nephews and nieces yarshining from their uncle? They're yarshining from their uncle through the mother. So with the mother that died, now her children, whether it's sons or daughters, according to Rab Chaim ben Akatzev, they should be yarshining equally. There's no preference to the nephews more than the nieces. So why is our Mishnah saying that bnei achos, that the nephews yarshin before the nieces? So if so, from our Mishnah we see that he does darshan the hekish of matos, that just like when it comes to a son that yarshins from a father, the son comes before the daughter. The same thing also when a son yarshins from a mother, that the son comes before the daughter. So over here I see that our Mishnah does darshan the hekish of matos, not like Rab Chaim ben Akatzev. So the Gemara now concludes, now the question, if so, on the Tana of our Mishnah is that he seems to contradict himself. Now the Tana didam, the Tana of our Mishnah, and this is why Rabbi Yehuda Rab Shimon said he doesn't know what the Tana of our Mishnah holds like, because now the Tana of our Mishnah, mimanavshach. Either way, there's a problem here. Doresh matais, if he darshans this hekish of matais, so then isha nami tirishes bana. So then that hekish should teach us that just like a father could yarshin his son, so too a mother could yarshin her son. We compare the two. So if our Tana would hold that this hekish, this should be true, but our Tana clearly says that a mother does not yarshin the son. And on the other hand, iloi darish matais, if he does not darshan the hekish of matais, so ben the koidim labas benichsei ha'eim minole. So then from where does he know that we say that just like by a father and a son, that the son comes before a daughter, the same thing by a son yarshining from the mother? How do we know over there that the son comes before the daughter, benichsei by the mother? The only way you could know that is from the hekish. But if he does not darshan that hekish, as we see from the fact that he doesn't compare the father to the mother when it comes to yarshining their son, so over here, from where do we know that when it comes to the ben being before the bas regarding the Yerusha from the mother, that it's just like the father? So that's the question over here on the Tana of our Mishnah. Mimanav Shach, the Rashbam over here says there's a klal, ein hekish l'mechza. You can't use a hekish just for one point and not for the other point. So if he holds of the hekish, he should hold it for both of these points. If he does not hold of the hekish, so then there's no hekish for either of these points. So the Gemara answers, La'olam darish matais. Really, the Tana of our Mishnah does darshan the hekish of matais, and therefore that teaches us that just like when it comes to yarshining a father, the son comes before the daughter, so too when it comes to yarshining a mother, the son comes before the daughter. That's the hekish. Now, so why don't we apply that hekish regarding a mother yarshining a son, just like a father yarshins the son? The answer is because v'shani hacha. Regarding that point, it's different because there's a pasuk. The Amakra, the pasuk says, v'chol bas yireshes nachla. A daughter can yarshin an inheritance. So this word yireshes is extra, and we learn from this yireshes ve'ena moireshes. that the daughter could yarshin, but she will not be mairish. And therefore from here we see that a daughter will yarshin from her father, but she will not yarshin from her son. So this is the source from where we learn out this halacha that we don't compare the Yerusha of the mother to the father, that the mother should yarshin from the daughter. So just like a mother does not yarshin from a daughter, so too she doesn't yarshin from the son. Okay, that's the drush over here of this pasuk. Okay, let's continue. Zok the Heilige Mishnah Seder Nachlois Kachu. What's the Seder of inheritance? So this is based on what we learned already in the beginning of the Perek, based on the Psukim, where it says first comes a son, then if there's no son, then there's the daughter, and so on. We already learned the Seder basically in the beginning of the Perek, but here the Gemara, the Mishnah, is going to add more details to this, how the Seder of the inheritance goes. Ish kiyamos suven ein loy. If a person dies and there's no son, then va'avartem es nachlosai lebitay. So then, who's the one that yarshins? The daughter. So what do we see from this pasuk? Ben koidem levas, that the son yarshins before a daughter. Additionally, we also say kol yoytze yireichai shel ben. Any of the descendants of this son is also koidem levas. They come before the daughter, which means that it could be a son of the son, a daughter of the son, a grandson, a great-grandson. Any descendants of this son that's alive will yarshin before a daughter. Now, bas kaidemes la'achin, a daughter yarshins before a brother would yarshin. And that also includes yoytze yireicha shel bas, any of the descendants of this daughter that's alive, kaidmin la'achin, come before the brother as well. Achin kaidmin lachei av, then the brothers, they yarshin before the uncles, the brothers of the father. And it's similar also, yoytze yireichan shel achin, any of the descendants of the brothers, kaidmin la'achei av, they yarshin before the brothers of the father. So what do we say based on this? Ze aklal, this is the rule. Kol hakaidim benachlo, anybody that is first in line to inherit, yoytze yireicha kaidmin. So then his descendants are also first in line to inherit before the one that's next. Now this concept that the Mishnah is saying here is what's known, and we'll see this expression in the Gemara, but in the Rishonim we see that this is what's called mishmush nachla. When you have an inheritance that you get by the fact that it came from passing through another generation until it reaches you. So if there could be a grandson or even a great-grandson that will yarshin before a daughter, a direct daughter, because the nachla continues and goes through the son to the next generation following the line of the son before it goes to a daughter. And the same by the others, that the Mishnah said here. Now, another halacha is that the father comes before any of the other descendants here, meaning that before the brothers would yarshin, which are the father's own children, the father yarshins before them. So if there's no son or there's no daughter to yarshin, then who's the next in line to yarshin? The father. The father would yarshin, and then if the father's not alive, then his children, which are the brothers of the one that died, will yarshin. Tana Rabbanon, and a brayso we learned explaining this halach of the Mishnah. It says in the pasuk ben ein loy, that if there's no son, then what happens? We go to the next in line, which is the daughter that yarshins. Ein loy ela ben. I would think that only you have to see if there's a son. If there's no son, then you go directly to the daughter. Ben a ben. How do you know even if their son is not alive, but his son is alive, the grandson? Oy basa ben, or a granddaughter. Oy ben basa ben, a great grandson. I mean, a son of a daughter of the son are still alive. In other words, any descendant of this son is still alive. So minayin, how do I know that they yarshin before going to the daughter? Talmud Laimar, the pasuk says, ben ein loy, it says the word ein loy with a yud in the word ein. So we darshan it and we read it as if it says ayin loy. And ayin means ayin olav. You have to investigate the matter, meaning you don't just look at whether the son himself is alive, but you also have to look to see whether the son of the son and even the grandson and so on, and whatever, however far down, to see if there's someone from this son that's still alive that could yarshin. Okay, so the Rashbam brings that it's an interesting drasha that you're darshing the extra yud in the word ein, because the Gemara in Kedushin says that when it says me'ein bilom, it says without a yud. So there we see that the word ein could be written without a yud. So the extra yud teaches us to say ayin olav. Okay, similar regarding a daughter. Bas, when it says that the next one to yashin is a daughter. So now, Ein Elabas, I would think that only the daughter herself yarshins, and I don't have to look any further. If there's no daughter, then you go next to the brothers. Basa Bas. How do I know if there's a daughter of a daughter? Or what? Or Basa again, Basa Bas, or Ben Abbas, if it's a son of the daughter, or Ubas, Ben Abbas, a daughter of the son of the daughter. Minayin, how do I know that they are also first in line to Yashin before you go to the next one, to the brother? Talmud Loimar, Ein Loi, and we read it, Ayin Loi, which is Ayin Olof, that you have to investigate and look further to see if this daughter has any descendants. HaKetzat, so how does this work? Now, the Rashbamir explains that this HaKetzat in the Braisa is going to talk about a slightly different point, but it's based on the point that the Braisa said till here. The point that the Braisa said till here is that the Nachla is not only to the direct son or daughter, but then, as I explained, there's the concept called Mishmush Nachla, that we just continue excessively going and further down from one generation to the next to the next. So that's regarding generations, going to further generations. Similar will also be if you can't find any close relatives, so then you have to go look further up in generations of relatives that are, because we share the same grandfather, or maybe even the same great-grandfather, or maybe even the same great-great-grandfather. The Nachla travels upward as well to generations before. So therefore the Braisa says, HaKetzad, how does this work when we use this concept called Mishmush Nachla, that we go and look further and further to see who is a relative? Nachla mimashmeshes v'ohileches, the inheritance continues traveling and going ad Reuven, until you come back to Shevet Reuven. So if someone dies and we can't find any relative, and there's someone that's part of the same Shevet as this person, so they share the same grandfather, Reuven. That's how far off we go. So the Gemara asks on the Lashon of the Braisa, why is it stopping by Reuven? V'leimad Yaakov, why wouldn't it go all the way to Yaakov? Why stopping by Reuven? Amar Abaye, so Abaye answers, Gemiri, because we have a tradition, we know, Deloy Kol Shifta, that there'll never be a situation where there's a Shevet that goes completely extinct. And therefore, as far up as you go, you'll never have to go past the Shevet. And therefore it said, Shevet Reuven, as an example. Okay, this is the end of this halach here. Now, explaining the Pshat in the Mishnah. Amar Ravuna Amar Rav, another halacha, Ravuna Amar Rav said, Kolo Omer Tiresh Bas in Basa Ben. Anybody that says that a daughter will yarshin along with a daughter of the son. So then, now this is against what it said in our Mishnah, right? Because as we just learned, the Mishnah said that if as long as there's a daughter of the son, then the daughter of the son is like the son himself. And then the daughter does not yarshin at all. So anybody that's going to come and say that the daughter will yarshin together with a daughter of the son, afila nasi shabi Yisrael, even if he's a nasi amongst Yidden, ein shaymin, we don't listen to him. She'einon ella ma'aset tzedekим, because what he's saying is only based on how the tzedekим tried to paskin in their times. And as the Gemara here will bring a Braisa that says the whole story about what the tzedekim said. The Tanya, as you learned in the Braisa, Barba ve'esrim b'tevis, 24th of Tevis. This is a Braisa in Masechta Tainis that gives dates of the days in the year that are a day of a simcha that you're not supposed to fast. So one of those days is Chav Dalet Tevis. What happened? Tavna ledinona, because then there was a clarity in the din that they were able to refute the opinion of the tzedekим and to paskin properly. What was the din? This din that we're talking about here. Shahayu tzedekим oimrim. The tzedekim said, Tirei Shabbos in Basaben, that a daughter does yarshin together with the daughter of the son. In other words, the daughter of the son cannot be any better than the daughter herself, and therefore she yarshins together with the granddaughter. Now, Nitvalem, Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai came to have a conversation with them about this. Amalem, and he said to them, Shaitim, fools, minayin zelachem. How do you know? Why are you saying such a halacha that the granddaughter will yarshin together with the daughter? There was nobody that answered him, anything. Chutz mizaken echad, besides one older person from the tzedekim, shayim mefatbet kenegdai, that was arguing with Rabbi Yechanan ben Zakkai, and he said as follows. He said that the reason why we're saying that the granddaughter will yarshin together with the daughter is with a kal v'chaymer. Uma bas benoi, if when it comes to the granddaughter that yarshins. Haba mekoyach benoi. Why is the granddaughter yarshining? Only because she's a daughter of the son of the person that died. So she's not yarshining directly from the person that died. She's only yarshining because of the son. So tirashenu, she yarshins this person that died, Bitoi, haba mikaychai, a daughter that when there's no son can yarshin directly from the person himself that died. It's not, there's no one in between. She's a daughter of this person, lekoshakin. Definitely she should have the kayach to yarshin together with the granddaughter. That was a kal v'chaimer that the tzaddikim, this zakim from the tzaddikim said to him. Okay, so now, how did Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai answer this? So first, Kara Allah v'samikra hazeh. He brought him the following pasuk to disprove what they say. Now the pasuk says, in the end of Parshas Vayishlach, Eile b'nei Seir ha'chayri. These are the children of Seir ha'chayri. Yeshvei ha'aretz, they lived in the land. Who are these children? Loitan, v'shoival, v'tzivain, v'anah. Okay, so now one of the children here is Tzivain, and the next one is Anah. But then Uksiv, there's another pasuk that says there later on, Eile b'nei Tzivain. These are the children of Tzivain, v'aya v'anah. And one of the children of Tzivain is Anah. So the question is, what's going on over here with this Anah? Is Anah a child of Tzivain? Or as it says in the second pasuk? Or is Anah a child of Seir, as it says in the first pasuk? So Ella, what we must say is, Melamed, this teaches us what happened here is, Shabbat Tzivain alimai. That Tzivain had relations with his mother. And v'hoylid Anah, and that's how he gave birth to this Anah. And therefore, this Anah was the son of Tzivain, as it says in the second pasuk. But on the other hand, he was also a brother of Tzivain, as you see from the first pasuk that it says that he was a brother because his mother was also Tzivain's mother, and therefore they share the same mother. He was a brother of Tzivain. So what do you see over here in this pasuk? That this Anah, even though he was a son of Tzivain, but nevertheless he puts him, the pasuk over here puts him in the pasuk together with the other brothers, Loitan, Shoival, Tzivain, and then Anah. Why is he being put there together? This Anah really cannot yarshin together with the other brothers because he's not on the same level as them, right? He's the son of Tzivain. He's a grandson. So if Seir, that is, passes away, so now there's Loitan, Shoival, and Tzivain that will yarshin, but Anah is not the son of Seir. He's only a grandson of Seir because he's Tzivain's son. So the fact that the pasuk puts this Anah, which is only a grandson of Seir, together on the same line with Loitan, Shoival, and Tzivain, what is that coming to teach us? That a grandson yarshins on the same level as a son. So if Tzivain himself was not alive and his son Anah was alive, Anah will yarshin together with his uncles, which are Loitan, Shoival, that are still alive. So here in this pasuk we see this concept that the grandson is on the same level as the son himself that yarshins. And therefore Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is saying this is the source to say that when you have a daughter of a son that yarshins, the daughter yarshins on the same level like the son, and therefore the daughter will not yarshin together with the granddaughter, because the granddaughter is like the son himself that yarshins, and then in such a case the daughter does not yarshin. That's the source that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai brought to refute what the tzaddikim said. Okay, but now the Gemara interjects here and asks, the continuation of the conversation here between Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and the tzaddikim will be soon, but first the Gemara asks, V'dome trei anohave. How would this even be a proof for the point that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said? But maybe the answer to the question, who this Anah was Anah son of Seir? Was Anah son of Tzivain, like we see in the second pasuk? Maybe the answer to that is simple. There are two different people by the name of Anah. Rabbi said, Amina Milse, I said something, Shvar Malka. I said something that even Shvar Malka did not say. Now this expression of Shvar Malka, who does this refer to? Umanu, Shmuel. That refers to Shmuel. Why was Shmuel called Shvar Malka? There's other places as well. The Gemara refers to him as Shvar Malka because he was like a king. Because by all Dinei Mamanis, we paskin like him. Or Ikadamri, others say, Amar Rav Papa. Rav Papa said, Amina Milse, I said something about this question. And the Leomra Shvar Malka, that Shvar Malka did not say in Umanu, who's Shvar Malka? Rabba. Rabba is Shvar Malka also because we always paskin like Rabba, so he's like a king. Now what's the point that he said to explain that we can't say that there's two Anahs here? The Amakra, the pasuk over here, when it says that Anah was a son of Tzivain, the pasuk goes on to say, who Anah? This is this Anah. Why does it say who Anah? What's it adding by this? What it's saying is, who Anah de Meikara. This is the same Anah that was mentioned in the pasuk before when it says that there was an Anah that was a brother of Tzivain, a son of Seir. Then later on when it says that he's a son of Tzivain, it's the same Anah. And therefore we must say, like we said before, that what happened is that Sivain married his mother, and that's how this Anah was born. And therefore we could still prove the point that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said. Okay, but now the Gemara goes back to the conversation between Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and this Zaken of the Tzedaikim. So the Zaken of the Tzedaikim says to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rebbe, my Rebbe, bekachata petreni. With this, you're answering my Kal V'chomer that I said. So the Rashbam explains the reason why he didn't accept the answer of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai is because over here, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was proving from the pasuk when we're talking about a son of a son, that a son of a son is just like the son. But that's not what the Tzedaikim were talking about. The Tzedaikim didn't even argue on that. The Tzedaikim would agree that a son of a son is like a son himself. They were arguing when it comes to a daughter of a son, that daughter should not be any better than the daughter herself. For that he didn't bring him any pasuk to disprove that. So now here Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai continued and said that I will refute the Kal V'chomer itself that you said. Amaloi, so Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, Shaita, you fool. V'loi tehei Torah shleima shalonu. Our complete Torah should not be kisicha b'teila shalachem, like your foolish conversations or like your foolish ideas. And it goes back now to the Kal V'chomer itself. What was their Kal V'chomer? They said that it makes sense to say Kal V'chomer, that if a daughter of a son that's only yarshining because of the son, not directly from the person that died, can yarshin, definitely the daughter herself could yarshin. But for this he says, there's no Kal V'chomer here. Why? Because Mala Bas, when it comes to a daughter, or again, Mala Bas Benoi, when it comes to the daughter of the son, she can yafa koicha. We see that she has a stronger power. What's the stronger power she has? B'makei ma'achin, in the place of brothers. If there's a daughter of a son, then she can yarshin together with the brothers of her father. That's the halacha, and the Rashbam here actually says, you see this even in the Psukim and Chumash. He's answering here the Tzedaikim. You have to find the source for this in the Psukim and Chumash, and this is by the story of Benois Tzalafchad. The pasuk there clearly says that the daughters of Tzalafchad will yarshin together with the Tzalafchad's brothers the inheritance of Tzalafchad's father. Tzalafchad's father was Chefer. So when Chefer dies, so Tzalafchad is not alive anymore. So who's going to yarshin? Chefer's children, his sons, and also Tzalafchad's daughters yarshin together with their uncles, with Tzalafchad's brothers. So we see over here clearly in the pasuk that it's saying that the daughters of Tzalafchad, which is what we're talking about here, the Bas Haben, will yarshin together with the brothers. That's the strong koyach that we see regarding this granddaughter. Taimar bebitai. On the other hand, though, when you're talking about the daughter of the one that actually died, Shuhura koiche b'makamachin, that she does not have that power in a place where she has brothers. And so in a case where a person dies and he has sons, and there's also daughters who yarshins, only the sons. The daughter doesn't yarshin together with sons. That even the Tzedaikim agree with, and you see that also over here regarding this case of Tzalafchad and his father Chefer. When Chefer died, who yarshin? The sons of Chefer yarshined. But if Chefer had any daughters, the daughters didn't yarshin. The daughters of Tzalafchad yarshin, but not any daughters directly of Chefer, they did not yarshin. So we see over here clearly that the granddaughter, meaning the daughters of the son, have a stronger koyach than the daughters of the person that died himself. So therefore that refutes the Kal V'chomer that the Tzedaikim wanted to say, that it makes sense to say that the daughter herself is stronger than the granddaughter. No, over here we see clearly that the granddaughter is stronger than the daughter herself. So therefore this refutes the Kal V'chomer v'natzchom, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was victorious over their Psak Din on this day of Chav Dalet Tevis, and va'isa yom asu yom tiv, and they turned that day into a yom tiv. So this is the source for this concept that whoever says that a daughter should yarshin together with a granddaughter is like the tzedaikim, as you see here in the story.